Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today we're going to talk about the perfect Christmas gifts for the car guy or the car gal in your life. It may be simpler than you think. Sometimes we get things too complicated. Don't go away. I'm Mike and you're watching My Car Shop. Let's face it, sometimes we complicate things more than they need to be. I recently had a friend of mine reach out and say, my son is into cars and he's got a shop and he's 18 years old and I want to know what is some good things I could get him. The answer to that came really easy and it was very simple. Consumables. What do I mean by consumables? Well, there are a lot of things in the shop that we consume on a regular basis and they can add up. They can cost us quite a bit of money, more than we realize, and kind of nickel and dime us. And they're things we burn through like crazy. For example, the way I do things here in the shop is I use a lot of rattle can Rustoleum primer to kind of cover things up when I'm done working on them. Part of that is for the visual appeal of what it looks like when it's done here on the channel, I will admit. But some of it is to keep things like this bare metal piece here that's rusting from rusting. But there are a lot of other consumable things that you may not think about that are different than the kind of things that I do here in the shop. And they're ones that I definitely do consume a lot of. So let's talk about those. I have cabinets over here that I normally keep stocked with a lot of products, but lately it's been difficult. But things like blue paper towels. Those blue paper shop towels, I go through tons of those. I prefer them on a roll. Some people like them in a box. I happen to have paper towel hangers around the shop to put the rolls on. Right now, I have white ones because I haven't been able to afford to buy the blue ones. So shop towels are huge. We can never have enough shop towels. Normally, I would have 6, 8, 10, 12 rolls of those blue paper towels on hand. Right now, that's just not been possible. So shop towels, can't emphasize that enough. Just disposable shop towels. Something else that I go through a ton of here in the shop is brake clean. The non-chlorinated brake clean, chlorinated, I prefer the non-volatile, the non-flammable brake clean. It gets used for a whole lot more than just brake jobs. It's a great parts cleaner for a lot of things. So brake clean is definitely another product that I usually have 6 or 8 cans in the cupboard at all times. Another one is carb cleaner. I go through a ton of carb cleaner here in the shop, not just for cleaning carburetors, but it's a handy product for a lot of uses. So, having 6, 8 cans of of carb cleaner on the shelf is something that's been the norm for me for a long, long time. Something else that you can never have enough of is lubricants. Things like WD-40, PB Blaster, spray white lithium grease, and if you're really feeling generous, a can of Kroil. That stuff is expensive, but it is really good. Liquid wrench is something else you could have. Here's another one that most people don't think of. Window cleaner, glass cleaner. I happen to like this Motorex cleaner polisher for metal, plastic, varnish surfaces. Works great on glass. Some people like spray away. I actually like this better. It's hard to find this, but it's a great product. But a good quality glass cleaner when you have cars around makes a difference. Plus, it can be used on other things besides just the cars. Something else that you might not think about are dust masks. I prefer these double-banded 3M N95 masks. They're a little bit more money, but they're not terribly expensive. Stay away from the chintzy ones with the little single rubber band. Get the good quality ones. These last quite a while. They're consumable. You throw them away. I've had this box for a couple years now. They're easier to get than they were a few years ago. Prices come back down on them again. Can't emphasize having these on hand at all times is very helpful around the shop. Another great cleaning product. I love this stuff. Yes, they sponsor the channel, but I'm not paid to say this. They just provide the product for the channel here. But SuperClean is an amazing product. I just used some the other day to clean the keyboard in my studio because I go in there a lot of times with greasy hands working on stuff, and the keyboard was just brown and black. Light dusting on a rag and just wiped it off, and the keyboard was super clean, and it was super fast, and it was super easy. And the product is not very expensive. You can get it almost anywhere. Something else that I go through tons of, and I happen to have bags and bags and bags of right now, zip ties. You can never have too many zip ties of various sizes, from the very smallest ones down to as big as you want to go. I have a couple around here that are probably 3 or 4 feet. Very handy to have zip ties around the shop. They're something we use all the time. I can't emphasize that enough. Again, it's a consumable. We go through them, and you know, it's just a great product to keep on hand in the shop. Something else that I go through a ton of is Rustoleum satin black in a rattle can. Sometimes I get it in the quarts. You got to know your car person, what they're doing, if that's something they would use or not. But as far as my shop goes, it's a product that I go through tons and tons of. This normally would have been a Talk About It Tuesday episode, but being as Tuesday was Christmas Eve, I decided to mix it up a little bit this week, put this out a bit early, and we'll move our hands-on episodes forward so that you have some time to share this with people. Hopefully you find this in your searches. Hopefully it's helpful. But drop it down there in the comments. What are some other consumable things that you can think of that would make great Christmas gifts that would be super handy in the shop? They may not be super sexy gifts and that kind of stuff, but when you're in a shop like we are here doing work all the time, these kinds of consumable things really add up, and they do make a difference. And they're a very thoughtful gift because it's a way you can say, hey, I support what you're doing, and here's some products that can be beneficial to you. Drop your suggestions down there in the comments. Let's add to the list. I will go through and put the things that I've suggested here in a list in the comments on this video, or in the video description, I should say, so that you can copy that out and hand that to people or use it for your own shopping pleasure, that kind of thing. But there's tons of consumable stuff that we go through in the shop that we don't necessarily think about. And they do make really good Christmas gifts. So that'll do it for this one. I appreciate you being here. Back with our hands-on stuff right on normal schedule. Episodes every Friday, every Sunday, and every Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Oh, the other thing that I forgot about this one. This one's important. Don't forget.